Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into a proven blueprint for driving just a massive amount of organic traffic to an Etsy shop. And trust me, this strategy has the results to back it up. Okay, let's just start with a number that most Etsy sellers can only dream of. We're talking over 50,000 visits to one shop in a single month. And that's not a fluke, by the way. It's the result of a really consistent, targeted strategy that we are about to break down. And what does that kind of traffic actually get you? Well, for 6-year Etsy veteran Dylan Jaharhouse, it gets you over $1.25 million in total sales. Yeah, that is the power of getting eyeballs on your products. So, the big question, right? How did she do it? We're about to break down her exact strategy, piece by piece, to show you the real engine behind her success. And more importantly, show you how you can use these exact same lessons for your own shop. All right, Section 1, the 50,000 visit question. Now, before we get to the how, let's talk about the why. Let's get really clear on the one problem that pretty much every single online seller faces, especially somewhere crowded like Etsy. Dylan herself puts it perfectly. You can have the most amazing products in the world, the cutest shop on the platform, but if nobody ever sees it, you're basically invisible. It all, and I mean all, starts with getting people in the door. So, on to Section 2, debunking the ads myth. When sellers need more traffic, what's the first thing they almost always do? Yep, they throw money at ads. But is that actually the answer? Let's see what the data says. You know, it feels like the obvious move. You've heard it a million times. You gotta spend money to make money. But when you actually look at Dylan's real numbers, the reality is, well, it's a lot less profitable than you might think. Okay, check this out. Her return on investment, or ROI, it was just not great. She was spending about $109 a month to bring in only $207 in revenue. Just think about that for a second. For every single dollar she made from a sale from an ad, 50 cents of it went right back out the door just to pay for that ad. And if you're selling physical stuff, that math is absolutely brutal. Once you factor in the cost of your materials, your shipping, all the Etsy fees, that ad spend just completely eats up any profit you might have had. You're literally working for free, or even worse, losing money on a sale. And this chart just says it all, doesn't it? Even when she was paying for ads, they only brought in a measly 2% of her total traffic, a tiny little sliver. So where in the world was the other 98% coming from? Now that's the real story here. So let's get into Section 3, the organic traffic engine. If ads were a bust, what was the real engine powering her shop to those incredible numbers? This is where it gets really, really good. So let's look at the big picture for a whole year. Almost 500,000 visits. You can see Etsy itself brought in the majority, about 71%, through its own search and app. But look at this other huge slice. Almost a third of all her traffic, she brought in herself. That's massive. Okay, now this is the slide that is a total game changer. When you zoom in on just the traffic she was driving, one platform just blows the others out of the water. We are talking about 104,000 visits from Pinterest alone. Facebook and Instagram, they barely even register. And the craziest part? Every single one of those visits was 100% free, organic, no ad spend whatsoever. So you have to ask, why the huge difference? Why is Pinterest this absolute monster for traffic while the others are just meh? Well, the answer isn't some secret algorithm. It's all about what people are actually doing and thinking when they're on the platform. I mean, just think about how you use these apps. When you're on Instagram or TikTok, the entire goal is to keep you there, right? To keep you scrolling. If you try to click a link to go somewhere else, the app practically begs you to stay. But Pinterest? It is the total opposite. People go there to find things and leave. They want to click on a pin and go to a new recipe or a blog post or an Etsy shop. Clicking away isn't a bug, it's the main feature. And there's another huge piece to this puzzle, how long your content actually lasts. An Instagram post? Poof, it's basically gone in 24 hours. But a pin on Pinterest, it can live forever. Seriously, it can get discovered months, even years after you post it. It creates this incredible snowball effect that just keeps driving traffic long after you've done the work. And the best part is, getting started is surprisingly simple.
You just set up a free business account, and that unlocks the analytics. That's the key. You stop guessing what works, and you can actually see what people are clicking on. From there, you just start pinning your Etsy listings. It becomes this direct pipeline right into your shop.
Okay, on to our last section, mastering Etsy's platform. Because look, getting all those people to click over from Pinterest, that is only half the battle. Once they actually land in your shop, you've got to be ready to close the deal.
And on Etsy itself, it really just boils down to two critical things. First, your photos have to be amazing. In a sea of search results, your photo is the only thing that's going to make someone stop scrolling and click on your listing. And second, you need killer SEO, search engine optimization, so that you actually show up in those search results to begin with.
So what is killer SEO? Well, it all comes down to mastering something called long-tail keywords. Forget about a single generic word like necklace. You have to think about what a real person who is ready to buy something would actually type. Something super specific like minimalist gold bar necklace for mom. The key is to get inside your customer's head and use their exact language. So if you only take one single thing away from all of this data, let it be this. Focus. Just focus. Stop trying to do everything at once. Stop spreading yourself thin across every social media platform and wasting money on ads that don't even work. Just pick one powerful, free channel and become an expert at it. For Dylan, that one focus was Pinterest, and it drove over 100,000 free, highly motivated visitors to her shop in a single year. So the question I want to leave you with is this. What's your one focus going to be?